Every actor dreams of that breakout role. The moment they go from unknown to household name, the role that launches a career, cements their place in Hollywood, and makes them unforgettable. But imagine becoming so big, so iconic, that it ruined your career. Imagine being trapped by your own success, unable to escape the character that made you famous. Directors stop calling, casting agents won't take you seriously, audiences refuse to see you as anyone else. It sounds impossible, but it's happened, again and again. For these actors, the dream role that should have been their greatest blessing became a lifelong curse. These are the TV stars whose careers were destroyed by one role. George Reeves, Superman's curse. George Reeves had everything a leading man needed. The classic Hollywood looks, the charm, the presence. He'd appeared in films alongside Clark Gable and in Gone with the Wind. By all accounts, he was destined for the big screen. But in 1952, he put on a cape for a small television project called Adventures of Superman.
Look, up in the sky, it's a bird.
It's a plane!
It's Superman!
Nobody thought much of it at the time. Television was still considered a lesser medium, but the show exploded. Overnight, George Reeves wasn't just an actor. He was Superman. To millions of kids, he was a living, breathing superhero. Parents trusted him, children adored him, and he became a national symbol of strength and morality. But when the cameras stopped rolling, the role became a prison. Hollywood refused to cast him in anything else. Directors feared audiences would laugh if Superman showed up in a Western or a courtroom drama. Reeves confided to friends in frustration, "No one wants George anymore. They only want Superman." By the late 1950s, his career had flatlined. He was broke, depressed, and desperate for roles that never came. Then came the summer night in 1959. Reeves was found dead in his home from a gunshot wound. The police ruled it a suicide, but whispers of foul play never stopped. Rumors of mob ties, jealous lovers, and Hollywood cover-ups swirled for decades. Whether by fate, circumstance, or something darker, George Reeves became television's first great cautionary tale. The man who soared higher than anyone was grounded forever by the cape. Tina Louise, Ginger on Gilligan's Island. When Gilligan's Island premiered in 1964, Tina Louise thought she had found a stepping stone. The role of Ginger Grant, the glamorous movie star stranded on a desert island, seemed like lighthearted work that would open the door to serious acting roles. She imagined herself moving from silly sitcoms to Hollywood dramas. But Tina underestimated the power of television and the curse of reruns. Year after year, decade after decade, Gilligan's Island never went away. The show became a syndication juggernaut. To the public, Tina Louise wasn't an actress playing Ginger. She was Ginger. Casting directors stopped seeing her as anything else. Critics dismissed the series as fluff. And when Tina tried to pursue other projects, the shadow of the island followed her. Resentment grew. She skipped reunion specials. She distanced herself from her castmates. She wanted to bury Ginger, but the world refused to let her. Even into her later years, every headline still introduced her the same way. Tina Louise, the movie star from Gilligan's Island. What was meant to be a harmless, campy sitcom role turned into a lifelong identity. It made her famous, but it also destroyed her chance at a broader career. Adam West, Batman Forever. In 1966, Adam West suited up as Batman.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glee. I'm Batman. Obviously, sir.
And instantly became a legend. The bright colors, the campy tone, the over-the-top villains. It was television lightning in a bottle. Kids adored him. Magazines parodied him. And for a generation, Adam West wasn't just an actor. He was the Batman. But when the show ended in 1968, West made a chilling discovery. His mask wasn't a costume anymore. It was a cage. Hollywood laughed at the idea of him in a serious role. Casting directors refused to see past the cape and cowl. To them, he was a walking punchline. The campy Batman, nothing more. West himself admitted bitterly, "I was a victim of typecasting. For years, no one would touch me." For decades, he scraped by with low-budget appearances, novelty gigs, and convention cameos, leaning on Batman's nostalgia to survive. Even his later voice work, like Family Guy, traded on his Batman persona.
My name isn't Adam Wee. Or is it? Who am I?
The role that made him a star ensured he'd never escape its shadow, locking him into a career defined by one character. Gary Coleman, a catchphrase curse.
What you talking about, Willis?
With that one line, Gary Coleman became the most famous child star in America. In the late 1970s, Diff'rent Strokes turned him into a national treasure. He was funny, charming, instantly recognizable. And to millions of viewers, he was the face of childhood innocence. But behind the laughter was a cruel reality. Coleman's small stature, the result of a chronic kidney condition, meant he never grew into adult roles. Casting directors couldn't see past Arnold Jackson, the wisecracking kid from Diff'rent Strokes, and his iconic catchphrase became a chain. His health struggles and financial exploitation by managers and family only deepened his isolation. When the show ended in 1986, so did his career. The offers vanished. By the 1990s, Gary Coleman wasn't starring in sitcoms anymore. He was making cameo appearances as himself, forever a parody of the child he once played. The public remembered the smile, the jokes, the catchphrase, but behind it all was a man crushed by the weight of his fame, health challenges, and a world that refused to let him grow up. His role destroyed any chance at a lasting career. Lisa Welchel, Blair's spoiled shadow. In 1979, Lisa Welchel became Blair Warner on The Facts of Life, the glamorous, spoiled rich girl whose sharp wit lit up the sitcom. For nearly a decade, she was the queen of 1980s TV, adored by fans for her charm and sass. But Blair's sparkle was a trap. When the show ended in 1988, Welchel couldn't escape the rich girl stereotype. Casting directors passed her over for dramatic roles or different comedies, seeing only the haughty heiress. Her career dwindled to minor TV movies and faith-based projects with no breakout roles. Welchel confessed, Blair was all Hollywood saw. Even her Survivor stint leaned on her sitcom fame. The role that made her a star ensured she'd never be anything else, crushing her dreams of a diverse career. Erik Estrada, Ponch's Highway to Nowhere. In 1977, Erik Estrada roared onto screens as Frank Ponch Poncherello in Chips, the slick motorcycle-riding cop who became a 1980s heartthrob. His charm and swagger made the show a hit, and Ponch was the face of cool, patrolling California's highways with a grin that won millions. But that highway led to a dead end. After Chips ended in 1983, Estrada's career crashed. Casting directors saw only the leather-clad cop, dismissing him for serious roles or even different action parts. He scraped by with low-budget films, guest spots, and reality TV, but every door slammed shut with the same verdict. He's just Ponch. Estrada admitted the toll. That role was all anyone wanted. The fame that made him a star trapped him forever. Ponch's badge became a chain, destroying any chance at a broader career. Frankie Muniz, Malcolm's brilliant burden. In 2000, Frankie Muniz became Malcolm, the whip-smart teen navigating chaos in Malcolm in the Middle. His sharp wit and relatable angst made the sitcom a hit, and Muniz a child star sensation. To millions, he was the gifted kid with a quirky edge, a face of early 2000s TV. But Malcolm became his curse. Casting directors couldn't see past the precocious teen, and his youth made adult roles elusive. When the show ended in 2006, Muniz's career fizzled. Minor successes in Agent Cody Banks and TV guest spots leaned on his Malcolm persona, offering no escape. Health struggles deepened his challenges, but typecasting was the real barrier. Muniz later said, Hollywood only saw me as that kid. And for this next young star, it was even worse. Jaleel White, Urkel's unbreakable nerd. In 1989, Jaleel White introduced the world to Steve Urkel on Family Matters. With his high-pitched voice, oversized glasses, and
Can I do that?
Urkel became a cultural phenomenon. The nerdy neighbor turned the sitcom into a hit, and White, barely a teenager, became a star overnight. But Urkel wasn't just a role, he was a trap. The character's larger-than-life persona dominated White's identity. It's something he identified while still on the show. Among other reasons, The show gave Urkel an alter ego, Stefan Urkel, to show White's acting range beyond the nerdy Urkel persona. But still, casting directors couldn't see him as anything but the clumsy, nasal-voiced nerd. When Family Matters ended in 1998, White's career stalled. He tried branching out with guest spots and voice work, like Sonic the Hedgehog, but the roles were small and most leaned on his Urkel fame. Hollywood wouldn't take him seriously as a dramatic actor or even a different comedic type. White spoke openly about the frustration. "I was too associated with Urkel to get a fair shot. The role that launched him into stardom destroyed his chance to be anything else." The ones who broke free. While many felt a typecasting's curse, some stars shattered their chains, forging new paths from the ashes of their iconic roles. Henry Winkler's portrayal of the Fonz in Happy Days made him a 1970s legend, but typecasting nearly crushed him. With fierce grit, he produced MacGyver and won an Emmy for Barry, proving he was more than a leather jacket. Bryan Cranston, the goofy dad in Malcolm in the Middle, faced sitcom shackles, but he roared back as Walter White in Breaking Bad, earning Emmys and rewriting his legacy. David Schwimmer's role as Ross Geller in Friends locked him as the lovable nerd, but he broke free directing Run, Fat Boy, Run and shining as Robert Kardashian in The People versus O.J. Simpson, showcasing his range. The curse and the hope. In TV's golden age, typecasting was a career killer. Reruns locked actors in a box, their characters replaying endlessly, bearing dreams of reinvention. Superman stayed Superman, Urkel stayed Urkel. Today, the tide is turning. Streaming giants like Netflix and HBO, plus social media, offer new stages. Past stars paid a brutal price for fame. Their stories warn us, but today's actors have a fighting chance. If you're still here, drop a thumbs up in the comments to let me know. Thanks for watching.